So, a question many people might have with the current situation in mind is, do you stand on the right side? And to be able to answer that question objectively, I wanted to go back to basics, to be able to discern whether the situation is right or wrong. So, let's start with, what is property? This is my cup. I've acquired this cup rightfully, without stealing it, without harming anyone for it. I have acquired this cup with my own resources, which I have also earned and acquired rightfully, without harming anyone for it. That makes it, by definition, my property, because I make use of it to place the carrot juice which it contains into something else. My body. My body is also my property. My body is my vehicle, so to speak. My vehicle with which I experience this three-dimensional space-time reality with my five senses. And to be able to do so, I use something else, which is also my property, my freedom. Freedom with which I make choices, with my own discretion, because it is also my own responsibility. For if something were to happen to it, let's say to my body, then I would be the one who bears the burden. And these are all rights that we have inherently, all of us, because we're all equal. We all have the same rights. And unfortunately, there are people who believe they have a few more rights than others. These are people who believe that they have the right to coerce someone into doing something, often violently, to, for instance, give them their property, be it a part of their property, or to coerce them into taking something, to have them injected with something. So that brings us to the current situation, where people are being coerced into taking something into their body, which is still in its safety trials, by the way, so it hasn't been proven to be safe yet, so there is no guarantee that you wouldn't be injured by it. And speaking of which, this is something entirely new. I haven't heard of it since the last 2 years. So something new which evidently doesn't have any long-term safety studies also. And taking into account that we already have lots of precedents of severe damage resulting from these injections, and mostly because of the questionable ingredients that they contain, which are known for causing harm. And since we've already seen lots of cases of vaccine damage emerge lately, it is a very astute decision to keep away from these. A very informed decision that you make with your own discretion. And that unfortunately brings us back to the people that believe that they have more rights than others. For they believe that they have the right to coerce you into taking these very risky injections. And do they really do so because they care about your health and about your safety? There have been people lately who have passed away as a result of taking these very injections. But you don't hear anything about this. You don't hear anything about the deaths in a matter of hours after taking the injection. You don't hear anything about these gigantic risks. Well, you do hear them, but coming from people, ordinary concerned people, who share these risks with others, after they've experienced them themselves, or after they've seen them occur. And they almost immediately get censored from almost every platform after they do so. And you don't hear anything about this within the vested media, like the evening news, which is only trying to sell you on the notion that it's the exact opposite. And if they truly, really cared about your health and about your safety, they would inform you of this. They'd inform you of the inherent risks that come with the injections. It is bizarre to think of how many people are not privy to this, because of the suppression of these risks. But to come back to the people who believe that they have more rights than others, they now believe that they have the right to force you to take these very injections by means of violence, duress, if we're talking about a vaccine mandate. So they are essentially telling you what is going to happen with your body, what they're going to put into your body, which is your property, or be it your business, or be it your children for that matter. They are unrightfully claiming to have ownership over something that is not theirs, because they have not rightfully acquired it. Because the last time I checked, you couldn't possibly acquire another person, and it was you whom opened your business with pride and joy with your own resources. And so why would anyone else have the right to decide what should happen with your business, telling you what people you can let in and not let in into your business? And it was you who saw your child walk for the first time. So they have no right to intervene with what is rightfully yours, or what you're responsible for. But still it is being done with violence and theft. And we've just acknowledged the fact that stealing and harming another is unrighteous. It is wrong by definition. So to sum things up, nobody has the right to force you to do something that you don't want to do. Because you don't have that right, and I don't have that right. But people still erroneously believe that they do have that right. And that is why they necessarily have to pay people to go out and force other people to do that which you want. Armored people, which are known as the police and the military, for instance, if they couldn't order these people to go out and enforce their mandates, you would very well blatantly see that this arbitrary, made-up right doesn't exist at all. And that is the definitive truth, and not a matter of opinion. You can describe everyone in 3 components: what he or she thinks, feels, and ultimately does. So, are you the type of person that says, I know it to be wrong, and I feel bad about it, but I continue to do as I'm told because I fear the consequences for not doing so? Or are you the type of person that says, I know it to be wrong, and I feel bad about it, therefore I will not comply with it. I will not condone theft, coercion, violence, duress, claiming to have ownership over another being's life and their physical property, which they have acquired rightfully, but are forced to hand them over, even if we're talking about the entire thing or just a part of it. It does not matter on which pedestal you think you stand. You do not have more rights than others. You can only enforce this notion of authority over others because people acquiesce. And the very important thing that differentiates both instances is courage. To do what is right and to stand up against that which is not right. So, are you that type of person with courage, with self-respect? What is self-respect actually? Well, the answer lies very clearly within the word itself. Self being yourself, re as in again, spect as in spectate, to see, to look at yourself again. Look at yourself and grasp the fact that you are the one who's in control over your own life, over your own body, and ultimately over your freedom. They are your rightful property. You own them. No one can give them to you, and certainly no one can take them away.